You think you have willpower, but the fast food industry has spent billions of dollars making sure you don't. And today I'm going to show you exactly how they've hijacked your brain, your hormones, and your muscle building potential, and what you can do to break free. Picture this. It's 9 p.m. You just finished a brutal leg day. You're exhausted, you're driving home, and suddenly that golden arch appears like a beacon in the dark. And before your rational brain even gets a vote, you've already pulled into the drive-thru. That's not weakness, that's neuroscience. Fast food companies engineer their food using something called the bliss point, a precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that triggers a dopamine release in your brain, nearly identical to the hit you get from addictive substances. Dr. David Kessler, former FDA commissioner, spent years researching this and confirmed that hyperpalatable foods literally rewire your reward circuitry, making whole foods feel boring and unsatisfying by comparison. This is why, after a week of eating clean, a plain chicken breast feels like cardboard, but after a week of fast food, you crave it constantly. Now let's talk about what this is actually doing to your gains. Because if you're serious about building a physique, this matters more than any supplement you'll ever buy. A single fast food meal, say a double cheeseburger, large fries, and a soda, can clock in at 1,200 to 1,500 calories, with a macronutrient breakdown that is an absolute nightmare for muscle building. Sky-high refined carbohydrates that spike your insulin and crash your energy, trans fats and oxidized seed oils that increase systemic inflammation and directly impair muscle protein synthesis, and protein that looks decent on paper but is low in leucine, the key amino acid that actually triggers the mTOR pathway, your body's primary muscle-building switch. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition showed that diets high in ultra-processed foods reduced muscle protein synthesis rates by up to 30%, even when total protein intake was matched. Meaning it's not just about hitting your macros, it's about the quality of what you're eating. On top of that, fast food is loaded with sodium that causes water retention and bloating, making you look and feel soft even when you're training hard. And the refined sugar content drives up cortisol over time. And elevated cortisol is literally the enemy of testosterone, which means you're paying for your fast food habit not just in dollars, but in hormonal currency that directly tanks your ability to build muscle and recover. But here's where it gets psychologically interesting, because willpower is the wrong frame entirely. Stanford psychologist Kelly McGonigal's research shows that willpower is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day, a concept called ego depletion, which is exactly why you eat perfectly all day and then demolish a bag of fast food at night. The decision fatigue you accumulate from work, training, relationships, and 1,000 micro-choices throughout the day drains your prefrontal cortex, which is the rational decision-making part of your brain, and hands the wheel over to your limbic system, which is the primal, reward-seeking part that only cares about immediate pleasure. And fast food was literally designed to appeal to that exact system. This is why discipline isn't the answer. Environment design is. Research by behavioral economist Brian Wansink found that people make over 200 food decisions per day, and the vast majority of them are unconscious and driven entirely by environmental cues. Which means if fast food is convenient and whole food is not, you will default to fast food every single time, not because you're weak, but because that is how human cognition works under stress and fatigue. So what actually breaks the trap? First, you need to understand the neurological reset. When you remove hyperpalatable foods for 21 to 30 days, your dopamine receptors begin to upregulate, meaning your brain becomes more sensitive to reward again, and whole foods start to taste genuinely satisfying rather than bland. This is backed by neuroimaging studies from Yale's Food Addiction Science and Treatment Lab, showing measurable changes in reward circuitry within 30 days of dietary change. Second, meal prep is not a lifestyle choice. It's a cognitive override strategy. When food is already prepared and sitting in your fridge, you are removing the decision entirely, which means your depleted prefrontal cortex never even gets asked the question. Third, if you're going to eat fast food, because life is real and sometimes you will, understand how to make it work rather than spiral into guilt that triggers a 3-day binge. Order a grilled protein source. Ditch the bun to eliminate refined carbs. Skip the soda entirely. And understand that one imperfect meal does not destroy a week of training. What destroys a week of training is the psychological shame spiral that convinces you you've already failed, so you might as well keep going. Fourth, and this is the one most people skip, you need to address the emotional trigger beneath the craving. Fast food is rarely just about hunger. It's about stress relief, reward, comfort, social bonding, and sometimes even punishment. And until you identify your personal trigger, you will keep cycling back. Keep a simple note on your phone. Every time you crave fast food, write down what you were feeling 5 minutes before. Within 2 weeks, you'll see a pattern so clear, it will genuinely shock you. The fast food industry is not your enemy. Your unawareness of how it works is. Once you understand the bliss point, the ego depletion, the dopamine hijack, and the environmental cues, you stop fighting your willpower and start building systems that make the right choice, the easy choice. And that is when your body, your training, and your relationship with food changes permanently. If this broke something open for you, share it with someone who's stuck in the same trap. And drop in the comments what your biggest fast food trigger is, because I read every single one.